Groucho, Barbara Lathrop, and Fred Heine are standing by. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word, woo-hoo, and divide and receive extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Barbara, you're a very distinguished-looking woman. Where are you from?
Well, Groucho, I was born in Salt Lake City, but when I was a little bit of a girl, my father sent the whole family back to Scotland because he was Scottish, and he wanted to have his family see that we weren't Indians.
Well, he had a Scottish right to do that, you know.
Certainly. So after we came back, we moved to Glendale in 1901.
You went from Edinburgh to Glendale?
No, from Aberdeen.
Aberdeen, yeah.
And then to Glendale.
I didn't think there was a Glendale 51 years ago. What was it like in those halcyon days,
there were about,
as Jessel would put it?
There were about 300 people then, and when we wanted to go into Los Angeles, it took all day, and we had to hitch up a team of horses in a carriage and drive all day to get to Los Angeles and back.
You mean it took all day to go 20 miles? Those were the good old days. Eh? Today you can go by freeway, and you're lucky if you can find Glendale.
And then, 6 years ago, we moved to Pasadena.
Oh, now, Mr. Heine, is that the way you pronounce it, Heine?
Yeah, just plain Heine.
Where are you from, Heine? I'll call you Heine for sure.
No, don't call me Heine. I've had more trouble today with just Heine and everything else. You know, and
Heine, oh Heine, I love. But you, it used to be.
Das ist recht.
Yeah, das ist. Sie sind Deutsch, nicht?
Sure. I'm
Heine.
quite right. I was born.
What is your first name, Mr. Heine?
Well, Fred W. for short, but it was Friedrich Wilhelm Hermann Heinrich Heine.
Oh.
But you know. Fred W., and then they finally, in Kansas, called me the plain old country boy.
Yeah.
Born and reared near Lucas, and in the ranching business. I have a couple thousand acres and have around 1,000 head of cattle that I handle a year round.
And you've been a cattleman all your life?
No, Groucho.
Haven't you lived that long yet?
I was in the banking business for over 25 years.
Is that so? I bet you gave many a client a bum stare there.
Well, I'll put it this way, you know what I mean. I'd rather be a cattleman than a banker because, after all, you know, bankers, they never die. They just lose interest.
Not the bankers I know. They'd rather die than lose any interest. Fred, with your banking and your ranching, do you have time for hobbies?
Well, I'm interested with various organizations. I wouldn't call them hobbies, Groucho, but I'm on the Board of Trustees and on the Council of Kansas State College in Kansas, of which I'm very proud. And I'm past president of Kansas Livestock Association. And I'm also on the Board of Trustees of the National Cowboy Hall of Fame that is going to build a shrine at Oklahoma City to preserve the heritage of the West, of which we're very proud of.
Yeah. And which is ruining me on television. Now, Barbara, your partner seems to be a rather prominent figure around the Middle West. Are you a prominent figure in Glendale?
Well, I don't live in Glendale anymore, Groucho.
You don't?
I live in Pasadena. And my only claim to fame in Pasadena is they tell me that I'm the only Democrat in Pasadena.
You must be very popular out there. About on a par with the Asiatic flu. Fred, as long as we have a Democrat, in all fairness, I have to give you equal time. What is your political affiliation?
Well, Groucho, I'm definitely a Republican.
I'd say we have a deadlock here. And there's only one way to break it, and that's for me to announce which way I would vote. And that, my friends, will be determined by the highest bid. Fred, how much do you offer?
Well,
Don't forget, I would vote more than once, you must realize.
Well, Groucho, you got me on the spot, but I'm going to put it this way. You living out here in Beverly Hills, I wouldn't give you a dime for your vote in Kansas.
I can't even get a dime for my vote in Beverly Hills. Fred, how do you like the big city compared to Lucas, Kansas?
Well, Groucho,
I mean Los Angeles, you know.
Well, after all, you know, if they give me a deed to Los Angeles, the mayor and all of you nice people, I love you all, I'd give the deed right back to you so you could keep it. compared to our little country town. I'll just give it right back to you.
No, you won't. Once I get rid of this place, nobody's going to get it back. What's your objection to the urban life, the city life?
Oh, my goodness, when you come up, you know, they run over you, they run under you, they run on top of you, they run around you, you know.
Well, didn't you ever have a stampede on the ranch? They run all over you, too, don't they?
Sure, but finally you can drive cattle, but you sure can't do nothing with people. When they're gone, they're all gone.
Well, is that the only objection you have to our fair city?
No, Groucho. After all, I think that in a smaller rural area, we don't have the delinquency that you possibly have in the large cities. In other words, I think that in the big cities and in our rural areas, we should have parent-teacher clubs.
Well, they do have those, don't they? They have PTA clubs. We have a lot of them in this city, all cities.
Well, I know you
PTA.
said PTA, that Parent-Teacher Association, but I'm talking about parent-teacher clubs. You know, 2 feet long and a couple inches thick. One for the parents and one for the teachers.
That's a very good joke for a cattleman, I must say. Well, it's refreshing to talk to people who still have opinions and ideas of their own. You're the kind of people I admire, and if I weren't so cowardly, I'd take sides with at least one of you. Now, all right, now let's see how smart you are in that quiz. You selected United States geography. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000.
Hi.
Have you met Mr. Fenneman?
No.
Just a cursory hello in the hall.
What is your political affiliation, George?
None of your business. Well, I was leaving anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, he's buying your vote.
Hey,
Watch out.
right. I'll smoke this a little later. You won't tell me who you voted for, huh?
When,
I mean, when McKinley ran against Bryan. What do you call the mountain chain that extends the length of the eastern United States?
That's yours.
I'm from the Midwest.
Oh, you're from the Midwest, and I'm from the West. The mountain chain that runs the...
That extends the length of the eastern United... Appalachian Mountains is right.
you have one right now.
The first man-made atomic explosion occurred in Alamogordo. What state is it in?
Mexico.
New Mexico.
That's 2 right.
What state forms the northern boundary of Alabama?
The northern state of Alabama.
The northern boundary of Alabama is bounded by what state?
Tennessee, isn't it? Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Is that right?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
You now have 3 right. Get the next one right, and you'll have your $1,000.
In what state do you find the important All-American Canal?
The All-American Canal.
Yes.
It's in New York, isn't it? New York.
No, it's in California.
All-American Canal. Yeah, did you know that
You
was?
now
Well, you're
have one
partners,
wrong.
you know. You can discuss it.
Okay.
On what river is the city of Louisville, Kentucky?
Well, what river is Louisville, Kentucky?
I'd say the Missouri River.
No, it's the Ohio.
Oh, we're not so bright. Have we missed
Yeah,
two
you've got 2 in a row wrong.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry, Miss Toon, you're all through. Well, we don't want you to go away empty-handed, so I'm going to ask you one more question for $100. You ready?
Oh, we're ready.
How long is a 10-foot pole?
You tell. You know that.
Well, at least it's like a 10-gallon hat. It'd be 10 foot long.
120 inches.
That's right. Sorry you didn't win more, but thanks anyway for being with us. You bet your life.
Well, we
Groucho, Patty Desaultels, and James MacArthur are on deck waiting to talk to you, so folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to your Betsy Life. Say the secret word, and you divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Patty Desaultels and James MacArthur, eh? MacArthur, stand by. I shall return. Patty, your last name Desaultels is French. Oui?
Well, French-Canadian. It's Desaultels, and it's singular, actually.
Is Desaultels?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, could you give us your vital statistics, Patty? You know, age, marital record, color of hair, future expectations, things like that.
Well, see, I'm 29, been married 10 years, have 5 children, and don't have any more expectations, I don't think.
10 years old. You've been married 5 years and you have 29 children.
Not yet.
How'd you meet your husband, Patty? Were you playing patty cakes?
No, not
Were
quite.
you playing husband cakes?
We went to, some girlfriends of mine and myself, we went to Balboa for vacation, about 60 girls. We were all living in one house down there. And
60 girls in one house?
this was in the upstairs. There are more downstairs.
What was downstairs? 60 boys?
No, my husband was one of them. He and some of his friends were renting the garage. So I got to know him this way, mainly because I went down with $5 for the week, and it cost $2.50 per night to stay there, so I sort of was shortchanged. And he was nice enough to loan me his brother's sleeping bag, and then he brought the sleeping bag to me, and I went to the turtle back of my boyfriend's car at midnight. He locked me up in it.
Wait a minute. Now, let's start all over, huh? Your husband, your present husband, was in the garage with a sleeping bag. You were upstairs with 59 girls.
Yeah.
Well, how did he know you needed a sleeping bag? Did he?
Because I left the place. I didn't have any more money, and...
And he was standing outside the garage with a sleeping bag?
No, the sleeping bag was inside. His brother wasn't in it at the time, so...
Where was his brother? In another sleeping bag? Well, what did he sleep in while you had his bag?
I never asked him, because I was in the turtle back of my boyfriend's car, so I didn't see him.
You had a turtle back and he...
No, see, I had this boyfriend, and when he would come home from his date, and while we were down there, and I would come back from mine at midnight, we'd meet there at midnight, and he would lock me in the trunk so I wouldn't go out again. Then he'd wake me up in the morning, unlock the trunk, and let me out.
He certainly trusted you, didn't he?
Well, he was a pretty good friend. But anyway,
You were locked in this thing all night?
yeah, he thought it was safer for me.
Was there any air in there or anything?
There must have been. I'm still here.
Oh.
But anyway, getting back to my husband, you asked me about...
Yeah, how soon after you met your husband did he propose?
Well, it was on the third date, and we'd gone out. I returned the sleeping bag, and he proposed to me. And that was about it.
Oh. Well, what happened? Did you get married immediately?
Oh, no, because the next day I met him again, and I said, yes. He said, yes, what? I said, well, I accept your proposal. And poor guy, he didn't even remember he proposed. He looked like he didn't like it. He was bored about it.
Now, let's see. Your name is James MacArthur, huh?
Jim MacArthur, that's right.
Jim MacArthur. Are you related to Douglas MacArthur?
No.
Are you related to Fort MacArthur?
No.
Are you wanted by the police anywhere?
No, not wanted there either.
Pretty dull contestant so far. Huh? What do you do for a living, Jim?
Well, I work for the American Express Company in New York City.
And what do you do for the American Express? Do you load the freight on the trains, or do you drive a truck, or do you wrestle trunks around the warehouse?
Groucho, I think you've got us mixed up with the Railway Express Agency. They're the ones who do that.
What's the difference between the Railway Express and the American Express?
Well, a Railway Express Agency does what you said. They move baggage around, trunks, and that kind of thing. The American Express Company sells travel, that is hotel reservations, tours, cruises, air tickets, steamship tickets, traveler's checks, sightseeing.
I see. Well, what is your job with this outfit?
I'm in charge of public relations for them.
Yeah, well, what do you do in your job, Jim? Or what do you do in your Jim job? I know. Doing your job, Jim, isn't it? Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I just met him.
Yes.
Well, I try to...
What do you think of him?
He seems very nice.
Yeah.
I just hope he's smart.
You hope he's smart?
Yeah, because I'm not.
You're smart enough to get a guy with 5 kids and a sleeping bag. So what do you do in your gym job?
Well, I try to publicize the company on television, radio, newspapers, magazines.
Well, you said the secret.
What is it? Paper.
The secret word tonight is paper. That's French. So you get $50. What are you squeezing there?
Oh, well, when I found I was going to come up here to see you, I got sick, and so...
What?
I
You mean, is that the way I affect you?
did. Well, my throat tickles every time I think that it shouldn't tickle, and so I just squeeze this lemon juice in my throat, and it takes it all away.
Well, go away, Duck, will you? All right, now, where were we?
Thank you.
You've done a fine job, Jim. I doubt if there's a man, woman, or child in America who hasn't heard of Railway Express. Incidentally, hasn't the trucking industry cut into your business?
Groucho, I think you've got Railway Express Agency in mind again. You know, we're the ones who sell steamship tickets, air tickets, hotel reservations, sightseeing, and traveler's checks.
You said that. You're in the travel business, huh?
Right.
Now, what would you do for me if I came into your office? And I wanted to ship a crate of hens to a lonely rooster I know in Cedar Rapids. Now, what would you do about it?
Well, Groucho, the first thing I'd suggest is you see the Railway Express Agency, and then...
I did. They sent me to you.
Well, we sell the air tickets, steamship tickets, you know, tours, cruises.
Well, look, this rooster is very eager to get to Cedar Rapids. He'll go by air.
Maybe I should have sold some traveler's checks to those chickens.
Checks for chickens. Now, suppose you were a lonely rooster in Cedar Rapids. Wouldn't you like to get those hens there as quick as possible?
I think I would.
Well, there you are.
In their sleeping bags.
It'll be cheaper. Yeah, wouldn't that be cheaper?
They might crack on the way, though. Do you have any outside interest, Patty? Outside of me?
Well, I do. I'm a stunt girl in motion picture studio.
Oh, what kind of stunts do you do?
Oh, just very casual things, you know, racing cars and falling out of windows and down cliffs and having fights. And whenever they want a star to fall in the mud, especially in her face or something, they usually call me.
But why are you interested in dangerous work like that? And does your husband approve of this?
Oh, it's really not that dangerous. I mean, it's not any different than anything that I do normally around the house.
Well, you must lead a pretty exciting life at home.
No, it's
You
just...
slide down cliffs in the living room?
No, but we live with quite a few cliffs. No, when you have 5 children, a lot of mothers find this, I imagine, things are just as hazardous there as doing stunts.
Well, why is it so dangerous around your house?
Oh, I guess it's the number. They're sort of...
What are the
there's
ages
too many
of these
against me.
moppets?
9, 8, 5, 3, and 2. It's the smaller ones that seem to cause the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, give us an example
well,
of
I was going to say
how they
like...
ruin your day
Well, like...
and a good deal of the night.
No, they're really pretty good little kids. Except like the other day, they sort of had a bad day. The baby hit me in the eye with the bottle, but it's plastic, but still hurt. And
The baby was plastered at the age of 2?
no, the bottle was plastic.
Oh.
And then he shut my nose in the door a couple hours later, and then so we live where a lot of sirens
Is
go
this
by.
being done deliberately or inadvertently?
No, he just wanted the door closed. My nose was there.
Well, that's mighty nice of you to keep your nose there. Very
I didn't mean to,
huh?
believe me. But, and then
You usually spend a good deal of the time with your nose in the door?
No, I really don't. But then around the day out, we have these sirens, squad cars that go by, and we know quite a few of the fellows, and it's always sort of a game like with the kids. We run to the windows. We don't have any screens in our windows. They're the kind that just step into.
That's in case you want to jump out and amuse the
Yeah.
children?
Well, that's about what happened. We ran to the window, you know, to see who was going by, and I got there first, unfortunately, and the baby came barreling behind me and landed into me, and I went out the window and landed in the rose bushes, and the baby saw the car go by. I never did see the darn thing. I mean, this is why I say it's easier to go to work once in a while and relax than just stay home.
Well, if he gives you a chance to take a trip around the world, I'd grab it if I were you. Even if you do have to check the trunks. How long have you been doing this?
Well, after I had the last baby, I just felt as though I wanted to get out of the house a little bit, so I started doing that. That was 2 years ago.
Doesn't your husband object to you falling off cliffs?
No, he hasn't yet. He probably would. I imagine if I got killed or something. But,
He sounds like a very practical fellow. Because what does he do? Does he
for a living?
drive an ambulance?
No, he's a litho salesman here in town, and also for his main love is he's an archaeologist and goes out digging on weekends and every spare moment for Indian relics and artifacts.
He's not digging for any objects at all. He's looking for a hole to hide, that's what If he was smart, he'd crawl back into that sleeping bag and zip it up over his head. And stay there till the whole 5 kids got married. Well, you're a very nice couple, and you're a very attractive girl, Patty, and your husband is very fortunate to have a girl like you. I'm sure you want to win some money. 5 little kiddos at home. You selected location of famous international landmarks. You ought to be pretty good at this, big boy. I'll ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. The Parthenon is a famous old building in what city?
Athens.
Athens is right.
Okay. You have 1 right now.
In what city is the United Nations building?
Go ahead.
New York.
I told you ahead of time. I'm dumb.
You have 2 right now.
You're not so dumb, old girl.
I have a complex.
The Rialto is a much photographed bridge in what European city?
Venice.
It's a tough category for this fellow.
You get the next one right, and you'll have your $1,000.
In what country would you find the Albert Canal?
Belgium.
Well, there's no use fooling around with this guy.
4 in a row, you have $1,000. He has something to say to you, I think, don't you?
Now, you've won $1,000. Now, you can keep it and quit, or else you can come back later and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $10,000. So you go over there and sit down and think about it, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, George, let's find out what these 2 young people have decided about the big question.
Patty Desaultels and James MacArthur, would you come out, please?
Well, you won $1,000 so far. If you decide to try for the 10 and fail, you wind up with a total of $500. What are you going to do?
I'm going to go for it.
You're going to go for the big dough?
I gotta go along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a gambler at heart.
You are going for the big money. Now get together and pick a number from 1 to 10. And then you spin the wheel.
Let me
And if
see
any
what-
number besides the one you pick comes up, the question is worth $2,000. Your number comes up, the question is worth 10. What number do you want?
7.
7? Give it a turn.
The number
You were going to take 2?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out 7 for the amount of people in our house. Or
Well, that's too bad. So this question is worth, what, $2,000, right? Fortune magazine in 1957 listed the richest man in America. The man at the head of the list, reported to be worth more than $700 million, has since received wide publicity. For $2,000, who is the richest man in America?
Paul Getty.
That's right. It's Paul Getty, yes. Dino Spaghetti, Paul Getty. Now you've won $1,000 apiece. What are you going to do with your
very
money?
much. Oh,
Huh?
our landlord would be real happy because we over the rent right now.
Well, couldn't
There's
have known
numerous things. The last 3 doctors for the last 3 children.
Well, get another doctor.
I've had 5 different ones. I still owe 3.
Well, get a dentist next time. Now, what are you going to do with your money?
Well, I think
You going
Mom
to
and
take a
Dad...
trip for Railway Express?
No, I'm going to make sure Mom and Dad take one on American Express.
Oh, an American. Oh, you with American Express. Oh, well, congratulations.
Groucho, Barbara Lathrop, and Fred Heine are standing by. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word, woo-hoo, and divide and receive extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Barbara, you're a very distinguished-looking woman. Where are you from?
Well, Groucho, I was born in Salt Lake City, but when I was a little bit of a girl, my father sent the whole family back to Scotland because he was Scottish, and he wanted to have his family see that we weren't Indians.
Well, he had a
And-
Scottish right to do that, you know.
Certainly. So after we came back, we moved to Glendale in 1901.
You went from Edinburgh to Glendale?
No, from Aberdeen.
Aberdeen,
And then to Glendale.
I didn't
and
think there was a Glendale 51 years ago. What was it
Well,
like in those halcyon days,
there were about-
as Jessel would put it?
There were about 300 people then, and when we wanted to go into Los Angeles, it took all day, and we had to hitch up a team of horses in the carriage and drive all day to get to Los Angeles and
You
back.
mean it took all day to go 20 miles? Those were the
It
good old
does.
days. Huh? Today you can go by freeway, and you're lucky if you can find Glendale.
And then, 6 years ago, I moved to Pasadena.
Oh, now, Mr. Heine, is that the way you pronounce it? Heine?
Yeah, just plain Heine.
Where are you from, Hein? I'll call you Hein for short.
No, don't call me Heine. I've had more trouble today with just Heine and everything else. And
Heine, oh, Heine, I love. But you, it used to be...
Das ist recht.
Yeah, das ist... Sie sind Deutsch, nicht?
Sure. I'm
Heine.
quite right. I was born...
What is your first name, Mr. Heine?
Well, Fred W. for short, but it was Friedrich Wilhelm Hermann Heinrich Heine.
Oh.
But you know, Fred W., and then they finally in Kansas called me the plain old country boy.
Yeah.
Born and reared near Lucas, and in the ranching business, have a couple thousand acres and have around 1,000 head of cattle that I handle a year round.
And you've been a cattleman all your life?
No, Groucho.
Haven't you lived that long yet?
I was in the banking business for over 25 years.
Is that so? I bet you gave many a client a bum stare there.
Well...